On a game-to-game basis, this makes everything just more dramatic, more important, especially for a sixth-place team or a fifth-place team. Like now those last 2 weeks of the season really matter. You can't just skid your way into the CCBC championships, into the Canadian College World Series. You have to really play.
Welcome to episode 377 of Alberta Dugout Stories, the podcast. I'm Joe McFarland, and this is our annual CCBC season preview extravaganza. We have a quartet of guests ready to join us in just a few minutes, but first, the news headlines. And we'll start in the big leagues, where spring training is winding down. Opening day is March 25th with the New York Yankees up against the San Francisco Giants. Then it's all hands on deck for 162 games. As always, we'll keep you updated on all things Alberta and Saskatchewan when it comes to MLB throughout the season. And the big news out of the bigs right now is Spring Breakout, which is that showcase of some up-and-coming talent for each of the teams. Plenty of connections to our provinces this time as well, including Adam Macko and Tim Piazentine with the Toronto Blue Jays, Nathan Fuelling and Jacob Melton with Tampa Bay, Matt Wilkinson with Cleveland, Eric Hartman with Atlanta, Luis Martinez Gomez of the Cubs, Pittsburgh's Titus Dimitru, Arizona's Avery Owusu-Asidu, and Garrett Hawkins of the San Diego Padres. Spring Breakout started Thursday and goes through Sunday. Tough news for Damiano Palmigiani as the Vauxhall Academy grad has been released by the Toronto Blue Jays. After 3 power-filled seasons in their farm system, he really suffered several setbacks during the 2025 season, and he wasn't able to get things back on track. Here's hoping another team takes a waiver on him in the not-too-distant future. On the college baseball scene, big congratulations to Dogs product Ricky Sanchez on being named West Coast Conference Player of the Week after hitting .409 with 4 homers, 11 RBI, and 5 runs scored in 4 games at Gonzaga. That included a wild game where he went 5 for 6 with 3 homers and 9 RBI against Indiana State University. Fellow Dog Jacob Robleski was also in on that game and had a strong one, going 2 for 5 with a solo jack and 3 runs scored. He's hitting .385 on the season with 2 round trippers and 4 RBI in 7 games. Their foe in that contest happened to be Cardiff's Carter Beck, who also had himself a game. The Saskatoon Berries product hit 2 homers and drove in 3. The final in that game, by the way, 23-19 Gonzaga. Staying in Saskatchewan, and it was a great weekend for longtime Weyburn Beavers all-star Ryan Musilar. He went 9 for 14 with 2 homers and 13 RBI at Ball State. He's hitting .323 on the campaign and has driven in 20 runs in just 18 games. And the Simon Baker Show continues at Cloud County. The Weber Academy alum hit another 3 home runs last weekend to bring his season total to 7. He's sporting a .417 average and has now driven in 20 runs in 20 games. On the college commitment front this week, we have a couple to pass your way. Thomas Dickey of the Calgary Bucks is heading to Grays Harbor College, and Weber Wildcats alum Dylan Decker is ready for a 4-year school. Now at Trinidad State, he'll be heading to Ottawa University in Kansas at the end of the spring. Some cool news out of Lethbridge just as we put the finishing touches on last week's show. They've unveiled the Canadian Grand Slam Baseball Showcase and Festival for the end of May. The CCBC World Series, the Mitch Ball Memorial Baseball Tournament, the Road to Okotoks Qualifier, the Lethbridge Bulls Opening Weekend, and the Little League T-Ball Extravaganza are all set to be happening May 21st to 31st, so that's where they decided to put the showcase and festival together. The Bulls have also launched the Canadian Baseball Legends Gala May 27th, and their special guest will be Kevin Pillar. Go to bullsbaseball.com for all the details. And speaking of Pillar, he'll also be the special guest at the Regina Red Sox dinner and auction. That's coming up April 25th. More details on that night can be found at reginaredsox.com. And we're expecting a big announcement from the WCBL on Monday. It's believed the host of the Rural Roots Classic will be named. Last year's event was a smashing success in Oyen, so we're looking forward to seeing where that game heads this summer. On to this week's guests now, and it's all CCBC all the time from here on out. We have a player from each of Alberta's teams coming up, but as we always do, we reconnect with Logan Wedgewood of the Battery Media. They are the ones who put together some great content on social about the CC. Wedge has been around the league for a long time now, so he has all the inside scoops on everything going on. It's going to be a fascinating year with a new team, an expanded schedule, and a reduced number of teams going to the CCBC World Series in May. We get into all of that, some previews of the Alberta teams, and much more in this conversation. Logan, welcome back to the show. Thanks so much for joining us.
Excited to be here. I think this is turn three. Looking forward to this every single time at the beginning of the CC season. So thanks again for having me.
Absolutely. It's always a pleasure because you know this league inside and out, and there's a lot to digest heading into the 2026 season. So let's start here. How excited are you to see games finally being played this spring?
Every year, it's like there's a new beginning to the year. For some people, I guess it's Christmas and New Year's. For me, it's the CCBC season. So this feels like a new year. 2026 can finally begin. The last couple of months were just limbo months. So no, I'm pumped. I think it's going to be a competitive year, and as always, like I got a great team with me that are going to help me, with the coverage of the CCBC with my team at the Battery. So we're really excited. We've had a lot of good phone calls and Zoom calls the last couple of days, just gearing up, ready to go. So we're ready to go. We're excited.
It feels as though the last couple of years, one of the themes that you and I have kind of talked about is the fact that there's more parity. Like as much as we've seen, OC taking a run usually every year and UFV doing their thing, but it feels like every team can beat any other team on any given night almost. Is that a sense that the parity is starting to really level things out and it's really competitive this year?
For sure. I mean, if you look at the standings from 2025, like the top team 21 and 11, that was UFV, and the bottom team 11 and 21 for Calgary. But like Calgary can beat anybody on any given day, and UFV can drop a game to anybody on any given day. It's really who you have on the mound to start the game, and Calgary's got a great pitcher in game one with Ethan Webster. And it's if your bats show up that game, it's a wood bat league. It's there's a lot of variables. You have to be able to score runs in more than one way, and some teams really show that consistently, and some teams, sometimes have some difficulties being consistent in how they're scoring runs and how they're pitching the ball and what kind of quality pitches they're throwing. But it's really like an ebb and flow kind of league, especially the last 3 weeks when they play, I don't know, 12 games in 9 days, it feels like. So it really starts to separate at that point in time. And it's always fun to know who's going to be playing really well at the beginning and are they going to be the same teams that are playing really well at the end.
Lots of storylines coming into the year from a team by team perspective, but maybe one of the biggest storylines during the offseason that came about is expansion. Didn't see that one coming, or maybe we did because the University Baseball Club, based out of UBC, makes its debut this weekend. But at the same time, this is a team that has kind of been percolating. I've heard rumblings and rumors about this idea for a while now. In your eyes, what do they add to the mix from a CCBC perspective?
I mean, the field Tourmaline West by itself like just improves the quality of playing services in the league substantially. Like it's a top of the line facility. It's full turf. They have a great indoor facility for teams to take batting practice when the weather is bad. Like I've spent a lot of time on that campus. Like I graduated from UBC. I've helped out with their youth programming a ton. I've helped out with this UBC club periodically throughout the year, working with their catchers. And like as far as just a raw facility standpoint, it's just great to have another really nice place to go to. And then having Vancouver as a hub city, I think plays a huge factor because you have those island teams and then you have UFV. And now you're able to shrink the travel a little bit, which when I played, there was 5 teams and it was, you got to go all the way to Calgary, then you got to go all the way to VIU. And fortunately for me, I was at OC, so I was in the middle. But for someone going to Calgary or someone from PBA and needing to go to VIU, twice a year, like those fees add up. So I think having the ability to lower the travel costs for teams and giving them almost, they're not going divisional yet, but like quasi divisions right now where teams can play rival teams and you can kind of make the schedule a little bit more, home friendly so that you can save some money in that aspect. It is, a pay to play league, and Canada sport isn't always going to be fully funded, as we all know. So I think it plays a huge factor just logistically. And then when you add in another place for Canadian ball players to go, and when you pair it with one of the best universities in Canada, like they obviously have the varsity team that plays in the NAIA, but having that second opportunity for players that maybe didn't want to play on that varsity team and now they have another option that they can go to, and it just creates depth for the league. It creates another option, and it just, I think it makes the league better in every single possible way.
From a playing perspective and from a team perspective, you mentioned it. Like this is a team that's got their NAIA team that has been very successful over the years under Chris Pritchett. I mean, this is a program that isn't new. Like they're not starting up fresh or anything like that. This JV team's been going for a while. They've just been looking for a home for the most part, and now they've found it in the CC.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, they've been a practice only program for 2 years now. I think this is year three. They had the probation year last year where they had to prove that they had their ducks in a row so that they could join the CCBC officially. But they've been in operation for a while. And they're being led by former pro Alberta product Devery Vandekeer. He's a professional person. He has his master's in kinesiology. He's been coaching professionally for a long time, and he was the head coach of the UBC PBL program for a while, kind of like the one of the leaders of the whole program for a while, and now he's been promoted to be the CCBC head. And the one thing that I really enjoy about UBC that I think is going to play big factors is that Thunder program, their PBL and Bantam Junior Senior program, their varsity program, and now their CCBC program. They're all connected, even though they're not connected. Like
Right.
they all practice out of the same facility. They all use the same field. They have to work together. The coaches work for all the teams. Like myself, I get to work with Bantam Junior and Senior PBL, and I get to go work with the CCBC team. And I'm a phone call away for Pritch, and he knows that. If he ever needed me to come out for them too. Um, the pitching guy that's for UBC, Sean Schaefer, he's a legend, and he's the pitching coach for the CCBC team and for the varsity team. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. I've never said it out loud. Eric Hergbrandt, I don't know, but he's a Victoria product, and he is a former high level collegiate arm. But he does the programming for Bantam Junior Senior and the UBC CCBC team. Like it's all one big organization, and having that option for Thunder kids, especially to be able to go like there's kids playing on that CCBC team that were on the varsity team, and they're like this commitment with the varsity team where it's like baseball first, school second, that is not working for me. And they've been able to do the CCBC program. Devery's done a great job being flexible with that program, allowing kids who are in really demanding academic institutions like engineering to have flexibility, be like, hey, I can only make it to 2 or 3 practices this week, but I want to be a part of this team, and I want to contribute, and I want to play hard, and I'm good at baseball. And he's been very good at being like, this kid is good at baseball. This is the deal here. You have a home with us. So yeah, the UBC program I think is going to be great. They have a good foundation, and I think they're going to be competitive right away. I don't know how well they'll do. Time will tell. But I think over time they'll show that they're sustainable.
Now, as a result of that little change, we now have a longer regular season. It's going to take you to the end of May long weekend, essentially, which is usually when the CCBC World Series is, which means that whole weekend has been moved 1 week further back. Also, only 6 teams instead of everybody getting a clean slate and anybody can win the whole thing. Although the regular season champ has been faring fairly well the last couple of years, only 6 out of the 9 teams are making it. How much does that change the game in your eyes?
I mean, first off, finally, thank goodness. I did enjoy the romanticism of, oh, the bottom place team could rally together a couple wins and get hot at the right time. We saw like with Calgary a couple years ago, they were middle of the pack and they managed to rally out, a CCBC championship, which is still a possibility for a sixth place seed. But I think the biggest factor, and I'm going to go to finances for a second here, for those lower teams, they can now use the finances that they save from needing to travel and do this tournament, where they go 0-2 barbecue. Now they can hopefully allocate that to something that's going to help the program and kind of rebuild a little bit. But on a game-to-game basis, this makes everything just more dramatic, more important, especially for a sixth place team or a fifth place team. Like now those last 2 weeks of the season really matter. You can't just skid your way into the CCBC championships, into the Canadian College World Series. You have to really play. And for the top 2 teams, it'll give them a chance to just kind of, if they need to, they can take their foot off the gas like they have been before. But the beginning of the season matters a lot more now to get a good head start. And then now the end of the season matters a lot more now to fight for your spot in. And I think as far as a collegiate league goes, you need to have teams eliminated from playoff contention. You just have to. It needs to be more competitive, and I think this is a step towards that direction where that final tournament is going to feel really elite now, and teams are going to have to really fight their way into it.
Absolutely. Let's get into it a little bit. Is the perennial favorite still the favorite in your eyes? Do the Okanagan College Coyotes need to be bounced by everybody else before getting knocked off the throne, so to speak?
I think it's actually gonna be really tight at the top this year. I don't have a favorite. The coaches poll just came out the other day from the CCBC official website, the Instagram page and their social media channels. OC was rated at the top. But as I've been going through and doing like these recap posts on every year since 2019 on the battery, and what I've discovered is OC's missing pitching now. They lost their top three arms from last season. They have the one thing I know about OC is that they're going to be professional. They're going to play the game the right way. They're going to pitch strikes. They're going to play defense. They're going to run the bases, and they're going to put the ball in play. They have leadership. I know that Coach Jeff White, he really wants leadership from players. Like that's what he expected of me as a player. That's what he expected of all the top players that you've seen go through OC. That's what he expected of them, and they would deliver. So I think like as far as the bones of a program goes, OC will be strong because they have good bones. They'll always be strong. They have good recruiting. Will they be the top seed? I don't know. I think there's a lot of question marks on the pitching staff that they really need to address. Who's gonna throw you 27 outs four times in a weekend? It's a 9 inning league, and playing four 9 inning games in a weekend is demanding. So if you don't have quality number 8, 9, 10 pitchers on your team, then game 3 and 4 start to look really long and really desperate, and you're kind of just hoping for positive results at that point. You really got to plan for 36 innings. You can't plan for four starts. The last doing math in my head, the last 12 innings of those four ball games really, really matter. So you need pitching depth. And there's always guys that step up. I say this every year. It seems like, well, who's going to pitch? But we'll find out. And I think that's exciting. That's how college baseball is supposed to be with turnover. You can't just have the same ace for 10 years straight. So their fate will depend completely on who their numbers 5 through 10 pitchers are. And are they delivering, or are they walking the yard? Are they throwing strikes? That's what it's going to depend on.
Who in your mind maybe sits number two and number three, or who's in that upper echelon heading into the year in your eyes?
I really like PBA this year. I've heard Hubka talk about how good he thinks they are. He's been doing it for so long that when Hubka says that he's got a good team, I believe him. I've also heard him say that he's got a bad team. So I know that he's not always. I know that he's not always gassing up his own program. Like he's an honest guy, and if he tells me that he's got a team that's going to compete, I'm gonna listen to him. I'm gonna believe him. They got good hitters coming back from last year. Their shortstop Tetsu Nishida, like he's a ball player. He's going to lead that team as a hitter. Declan O'Kane had a really good year last year. They don't have Justin Scott anymore. He was kind of their anchor as a hitter last year, but and they don't have Owen Lucas. But that's the thing about PBA is they operate as a 2-year program. The players are expecting to play 2 years. No one plays more than 2 years on the varsity team. They get moved somewhere else. So there's a lot of competition. There's a lot of turnover, and every single year it just seems like as I've been going through the recap, every single year PBA hits the ball. So zero hesitation to say that they're going to hit the ball. Oh, Will Turner, can't forget bootstrap Bill Turner. He's going to hit the ball. So they're going to hit, and then Hubka said that their pitching this year is going to be good, and he's said to me before that their pitching is not going to be good. So in years past, I mean. So when he tells me that his team is going to pitch the ball, I'm going to listen to what he has to say. So my power rankings personally right now is PBA at number 1. And then 2, 3, 4 is OC, UFE, and TRU.
All right. So number 5, I assume on that list, if it coincides kind of with what the coaches poll stands right now, the Edmonton Collegiate Hawks, who have quietly just kind of gone about business and have inched their way closer and closer to the top and almost got there last year, just missing out. What do you think they need to do to finally get themselves over that hump and into the conversation about being a favorite heading into the CCBC World Series?
Depth. They need to prove depth. They have always a good core. Like last year, Cruz Hernandez was incredible, had a great season, a real kind of a electric battery kind of kid. Like he really played the game, but to my understanding, he's not playing this year. So they're going to need to fill that hole with that he's leaving. But they've always had good players like Jace Daku is a good player. He's a good catcher. Colford, he hits the ball really well. Bradley Jolly, he's got power. So they play in a massive home park though. So it's really going to be like speed, consistency, and taking care of the ball. Um, their pitching will be fine. Their pitching is always fine. They've been successful year in, year out. They have a good coaching staff that's going to help with that. And yeah, it's going to be really about their consistency. The one thing I love about Edmonton Collegiate Hawks is, and this is a little bit of an aside, but I do think it counts, is they help their community a lot. They do a lot of service around the community. I know that they put themselves out there, and I think what that creates is a sense of pride in your program. It makes you care a little bit more about the name on the front of the jersey. You know that you're doing something together with a group of guys that are all in it together. When you roll your sleeves up and you do things together, you start to build something, and that is a culture of a team. And like I give a lot of credit to Jake Landferman. Like I've known him for a long time, and he's always been a glue guy. Since we were 14 years old, we'd be sitting in the back of the bus just laughing like all the time. So it's not shocking to me to see that his club is doing things like this to make sure that they're giving back and that they're doing the right thing. And I really do think that as a program, that only comes back around to benefit your program, because it's not about just like what team gels the most while they're playing MLB The Show at somebody's house on a Friday night. It's about what team shows up with each other to go and build something in the community, or build something at practice, or build something on college campus, like whatever it is. As long as you're together and you're doing something that you feel good about, that's going to build something. That's going to build a community. And as a team, I think that only brings a program closer together when they have that community. So, like, I think they do a lot of the right things outside of just, practice plans and workouts and all that kind of stuff. And I think that brings a winning culture. So I'm looking forward to that, to see how that pans out and to see how these beginning years of their program, they're still fairly young when you compare them against the OCs and the VIUs and the TRUs in the PBAs. Like they're still quite young, and they're still developing as a program their identity, but it does seem like they're developing an identity that they care about what's going on.
Absolutely. Culture is a big thing in Jake Landferman's world for sure. And finally, the University of Calgary Dinos longtime head coach Cam Williams says he's excited about this group. He's got Ethan Webster back, the reigning pitcher of the year. He's got some players. Do they have a bit of an underdog edge that might be working in their favor in your eyes?
Definitely. They have a good freshman recruitment class too. Like the last year, they had some good freshmen that showed up, and they're sophomores. They're a little bit more comfortable, probably a little bit bigger, probably a little bit stronger. Brett Potter really showed up last year. He had some big hits, including 3 home runs and 3 at bats. Was quite the story. Skinner in the infield, he's a good player. My hitter to watch from that team this year is Brendan Tong. I really like his at bats when I watch those games, and when I look at his stats, I see low strikeout count, a bit of a low walk count, but that just tells me that he's there to hit, right? Like he's not taking a bunch of pitches, he's not playing around, he's up there to swing the bat, and I like that, especially on a Calgary team that needs some dynamic players. In the past, I think that they've lacked a little bit of a aggressive, dynamic kind of mentality. They've let the game come to them, which can be really good. But when you have another team who's really going to go get it, and you're kind of letting the game come to you, now you're allowing the other team to decide if they're going to win or not. And you kind of just like, it's good to be consistent. It's good to be low tempo. It's good to be, like even keeled the whole way through. But at some point, there's got to be a spike in that emotion. And at some point, you have to just go and snatch the game. And I think that they are moving in that direction. They have like a good young core that is learning to do that. And when you look at Ethan Webster pitch, like his stuff is 85, 86 with a couple good pitches. It's not like he's throwing 95. So there's a reason why he's having such great success. And that reason to me is it's in between the ears. Yep. Like he's got heart. He's thinking about the game. He's playing the game the right way, and that comes back around in the CCBC. You can be a middle of the road athlete and dominate the CCBC just because you want it more than everybody else. And I think I know a lot of their freshmen that are now sophomores. I coached a lot of them. They got some good players that care a lot, and I think they're going to complement a lot more now that core that they've had the last couple of years that are now getting into that fourth year, fifth year kind of confidence. And like that's an exciting place to be as a team. I really could see them being a dark horse and kind of really showing the league that they're here to play ball this year. They didn't finish super hot last year. They had some injuries, I think, on the pitching side, and they had to kind of piece some things together. They also didn't have a home field, which does play a factor. To my knowledge, they're playing out of Foothills again, or now they're playing out of Foothills. I don't know what that looks like as far as the construction or what that looks like now, but it does play a factor to have a home field and a locker room and a place that you can hang out.
Absolutely. And there is a field there. I think they were able to play a game or two there at the end of the season. But it's not what Foothills was, albeit Foothills, there wasn't a whole lot there to be happy about to begin with. So we'll leave it at that because I'll go down a rabbit hole and we don't want to go there. I've done that before. Been there, got the t-shirt. Before we let you go, Logan, give us the 411 on exactly what you got up your sleeve when it comes to the battery and what you guys are going to be bringing to the table from a social media perspective this year.
Yeah, so we're going to continue in the CC with the CC3, although it will look a little bit different. We really did realize that like the time and energy spent creating the full recap episodes was not sustainable in terms of our, our low budget and our every all hands on deck kind of mentality. So the CC3 is being shifted a little bit now to us working more as journalists a little bit. So we're going to do, scoreboard graphics. We're going to try and show like clips from games from across the league so that we can make sure that we're spreading love. But our main focus is going to go on the series of the week. And we're going to really dive into one series every week and do a good recap video for one series every week. So our first one that we're going to do is UBC's first series against PBA. PBA is visiting UBC. So we're going to dive into that and create a nice recap video for that series and then bounce around the league as the weeks go on, make sure everybody gets fair love. And then we really want to focus on the stories that are happening inside the league this year and pay closer attention to that and make sure that we're sharing the big home runs and sharing the nice plays and sharing all of these inside storylines, the players that are doing cool things, the teams that are rallying around something. We want to show that, and I think it's going to be more sustainable for our time to be able to focus on the series of the week and then be able to look elsewhere for more things to pull in. So we're really excited to kind of get a three-pronged kind of approach to it this year with the series of the week. We're calling it the CC Stories is our second one, and then our third one is the scoreboards and just the league leaders, the stats, and that kind of stuff being shared. I got a great team right now, all full CCBC alumni with myself, Sean Robbins, who played for OC, former Edmonton prospect with me, McGregor Sharp, who played for UFE, also in Edmonton. We were laughing about this because we realized we're all Edmonton prospects once upon a time. McGregor Sharp, who played UFE and Edmonton prospects. Thomas Richards, who played for UFE, he was a Med Hat guy, so we kind of chirp him a little bit about that. And then Brennan Luther, who is still playing. He plays for Welland now, but he's, Tommy and Brennan are unbelievable graphic designers. They do such a good job, and they make us look so good. And then Sean and McGregor are on the video side. I get to enjoy being almost kind of a manager now, and I don't have to get my hands dirty with all the editing and all that kind of stuff. They're so much better at it, so I'm just getting out of their way and I'm getting them whatever they need to do, and I'm just filling their plates with stuff, and they're just eating it all up. So I got a good team. I'm really excited. I think we're going to do a really great job this year, and every year we've seemed to be getting a little bit better at it. Every year it makes us go crazy a little bit less, and every year it seems like the players appreciate it a little bit more. So everything feels like it's going in the right direction. We're really excited to get the season started this weekend.
Well, we're really excited to see all the content that you're going to be coming up with, and can't wait to share all the stories you guys come up with, and maybe we'll get to do a little bit of cross promotion along the way. So as always, a pleasure to get to chat with Logan Wedgewood. Have so much fun this season, and look forward to seeing you in the not too distant future.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot, Joe. Appreciate it.
Now it's time for the players from each of Alberta's teams, and we'll go in order of placement from last year, starting with Prairie Baseball Academy. Tetsu Nishida is one of the returning veterans from last season, hitting .351 with 10 RBI and 9 stolen bases in 20 regular season games. He then posted a .286 average with 2 RBI and a stolen base in 2 playoff games. The Calgary-born shortstop will be leaned on to be an even bigger piece of the puzzle this spring. Tetsu, thanks so much for joining us here on the show.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me.
We are on the cusp of CCBC opening weekend. How excited are you to get things rolling?
Yeah, I'm super excited to go back outside, play some games again. Like, be in that competitive environment is always fun to do.
What's the vibe in the clubhouse as you guys get ready to head out to UBC?
It's always exciting. It's always fresh in there. We're all looking forward to it. We're all pushing each other, trying to hopefully win it all. But yeah, it's fun. Like we're all there for each other. We have good. It's a good group of people that we have this year as well. So I'm excited.
I know you guys have done a couple of preseason tournaments and road trips and that kind of stuff. Give us the inside scoop, a bit of a scouting report. What are you seeing out of your team so far?
I think it's the preseason. It's like we're still trying new things. Like it's not polished to anyone means, but I think the preseason gave us a good idea on like our team's like our team can. I think our team can really hit. Like we have a bunch of hitters 1 through 9. I think I'm confident. Like even on our bench, we have a bunch of guys that can hit. I'm really confident that as long as our defense and pitching can minimize the runs against, I'm sure we can win many baseball games throughout.
Mm-hmm. Coming off a year where you came agonizingly close to getting to that CCBC championship again, in your eyes, how do you get over that hump this season?
I feel like it's hard to feel the bitterness of that loss in the semifinals, but I feel like it's also good to not forget it at all, just because I feel like it's motivation to try for better and like reach greater heights this year than what we did last year. And I think it's going to be like the driving force for the returning players to work hard, improve their skills from last year, improve themselves, contribute to the team, and hopefully win it all.
For sure. And I mean, looking through that roster, it seems like you've got a healthy mix of some returning veterans and some fresh faces as well. As one of the veterans in that group, what's been maybe your message to those newcomers? What are you telling them to get themselves ready for what I always say, it's a bit of a marathon and a sprint. It's a really quick season, but it's also can last a while too.
Yeah, so I feel like it's just like not worry about your numbers too much. Like just keep going day by day, game by game. Just take care of yourself. Like it's not all about just like working hard as you can every day, but like actually taking time to recover, rest, so that you can play in these games in your best state, I would say.
Mm-hmm. On a personal level, I know you didn't talk about you don't like talking about the numbers and that kind of stuff, but do you have any goals or expectations of yourself, things that you want to get done by the end of the season?
Not too much. Last year, I got a little too distracted by numbers and stuff, and then like kind of get all caught up, and then you end up in slumps and everything. So this year, I'm trying not to kind of stay away from numbers, just worry about one at bat at a time, trying to take care of what I can do, and just try and simplify everything about the game.
For sure. And speaking of team, I got to ask this question. I ask it of everybody when it comes to the season ahead. What would it mean to you to win at a CCBC championship?
I feel like it'll be good. I feel like we haven't won the championship in a while, so it'll be really cool if I could be a part of the team that kind of bring the championship to this academy. And I know it would be like an honor to be a part of that.
Absolutely. I love getting into the baseball origin story, so let's turn there. You're a Calgary product. How'd you get into the game in the first place?
So it was pretty fun. My mom just signed me up for baseball one day, and I was like, we're going to go to the store, we got to get you some gear and stuff. I'm like, because I started playing Timbits hockey at the time. I was so confused. I'm like, why are we going to the store against baseball? I'm like, what do we need after? It's like, you're playing baseball. I'm like, what? So then I ended up, I started playing Little League. And then as I played more of it, I enjoyed it a lot more. But yeah, so that's how it kind of started, and then I kind of stick with it.
Absolutely. You mentioned hockey. Were there other sports that you enjoyed playing growing up?
Yeah, I played a little bit of basketball. I played some volleyball in high school. Those are all really fun. Like, and then it kind of like helps you develop other skills. Necessarily, like playing volleyball, I think it helps develop better like arm pass when throwing and stuff because it's like similar motion when spiking and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And then volleyball and basketball, it's like you do like it's a lot of running, like jumping, so it's like a bunch of plyometrics to like work on your explosiveness. I think which really helped my game in baseball as well.
Was there a moment where it flipped for you where you're like, no, all those other sports are cool, but I want to play baseball because I see a future there?
Yeah, it's like as soon as when I started playing for the Calgary Cubs and I met Coach Duncan and Jamie, who also played at PBA.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of helped me grow into a better athlete, and then that's where I started really thinking like future. I'm like, okay, maybe I could actually get somewhere with this, and then I kept pursuing it, I guess.
Very cool. Any favorite memories or moments on the field where you had to take that step back and go, all right, this is pretty cool?
Well, that's a good question. I think, honestly, might be our first preseason games last year in Vegas with the PBA. That was pretty cool. Everyone just came out hitting. I'm like, oh my God, this is just surreal.
That would be an unreal feeling. I want to go to Vegas just to play baseball one day. That'd be awesome. On the flip side, we all know baseball is a game of failure. So what's been maybe the biggest challenge or hurdle that you've had to overcome?
Yeah, I think it's just not dragging on to these, like clinging on to these failures for too long. I have a lot of trouble with this where like I go for 4-1 game and I'll kind of like drag it on maybe the next game or like next few days, just like constantly thinking about it. But it's kind of about like, okay, you made a mistake, learn from it, reflect on it, move on, do better. So you can't change it anymore. I think it's like getting over the fact that it's like, okay, it's in the past. Like you can't do anything about it. The only thing you can like change is the future. So just kind of looking at the present and just learning from the past.
For sure. A few fun ones before we let you go, Tetsu. First off, what's your favorite ballpark food when you're there as a fan?
Oh, I think hot dogs. Hot dogs for sure.
What's the condiment of choice?
Condiment of choice? I just like ketchup. It's simple.
It's funny because ketchup and mustard can be a very divisive conversation. So, some people, I'm one of those guys who can do both. So, it's always good to have a little bit of fun on that part. What's your walk-up tune?
I'm still choosing. I think right now I'm debating between LA Love and La 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 by Rihanna.
All right. Something to get the kids all dancing in the stands. I like that. Finally, any superstitions or things that you have to do, whether it be before, during, or after a game?
I love taking like a nap before a game. It just helps me calm down and just like relax before I like go into any games.
A good nap goes a long, long way. Two more before we let you go here. First off, for those young kids who are just starting out on their baseball journeys and they want to get to where you're at now, what's that one piece of advice or those words of wisdom you'd love to impart upon them?
It's like a little cliche, but it's just like have fun. Like even though it's going to be, I feel like if you don't enjoy the game, it's hard to continue playing. So just enjoy it. Just have fun playing.
Absolutely. And the final one, what does the game of baseball mean to you?
Game of baseball. I don't know. The game of baseball is just like, it's kind of that like I treasure. It's something me and my family values. Like all my grandparents tune in and stuff. So it's kind of just a way for me to give back to the people that I care about the most.
That is fantastic stuff. Well, Tetsu, congrats on all the success you've had to this point. Continued success at PBA this spring and beyond. And again, thanks so much for joining us here on the show.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me again.
Let's head up to the Edmonton Collegiate Hawks now and get to know catcher Jace Daku. The Martinsville, Saskatchewan product hit .275 with 11 RBI and 2 stolen bases in 25 games last season. Then in the playoffs, he made one appearance, going 1 for 3 and driving in a run. Not only will he be leaned on more offensively, but Daku is also being given the added responsibility of working with a fairly young pitching staff thanks to the graduation of several key hurlers. Jace, welcome to the show. Thanks so much for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
CCBC opening weekend is upon us. How excited are you to get things going?
I'm super excited. You know, we're on the spring trip right now, playing some preseason games and just ready to get right into it.
The Hawks were on the verge of taking that next step. It felt like again this last year, and almost getting into the final. If a couple of things have gone your way, is there a feeling of some maybe unfinished business in the clubhouse this season?
100%. Yeah, I agree. I think this year we definitely have a bit of a chip on our shoulder. You know, we felt like we had the talent last year, but things didn't go our way. But I think this year's a new year.
You've been playing in some preseason games, as you mentioned. You're getting a feel for the team you have. Give us your scouting report. What are you seeing so far in the early days of the season?
For sure. I think a lot of our younger pitchers have stepped up, kind of filled the roles. A couple pitchers we lost from last year, so pitching will be good as always. And then we brought in a lot of new hitters as well. And yeah, I think our bats this year will be different, and I'm really excited to see. You know, obviously 1 through 9 we'll be able to swing it well, but then even guys on the bench, and we just had a lot of hitting depth this year.
Mm-hmm. On a personal level, you're coming off a solid first season with the Hawks. How are you looking to improve upon that heading into 2026?
Just kind of keep doing my thing, you know. Have a higher expectation for myself for sure, but just take game by game and just, you know, keep doing what I'm doing and kind of trust myself.
Speaking of expectations, do you have any of those or any goals of yourself going into the season?
Nothing too crazy, no. Just kind of get the job done when I need to, right? Kind of when I'm called upon, or if I'm in a big situation, just focus on it at bat to at bat, and yeah.
For sure. I mean, it's a different kind of year for you guys as well, because only the top 6 teams are going to Lethbridge at the end of May. Does that change your mindsets at all? How do you make sure that you're one of those 6?
I think just emphasizing that don't get away from our game, you know, and don't worry about, you know, minor failures that come about in a game, or a game doesn't go our way. We just can't blow it out of proportion, you know, just keep the head down, trust our process kind of thing. And yeah, don't beat ourselves up mentally is kind of the big thing, especially when these games start to have more leverage in the regular season.
Mm-hmm. As somebody who's going into a second year, do you find yourself giving some of those pointers, some of those tips, some of that advice to the new crew of guys who are getting their feet wet in the CC?
Definitely, yeah. I mean, whenever, especially if they ask or whatnot, it's good to give advice to, you know, a wide range of new guys and old guys. Of course, I think that's something our team does very well, is that we're very open to like criticism and feedback. Just hearing input from anyone can just give you a different perspective, and you never know what's going to help you. What kind of advice?
For sure.
Change your mindset.
For sure. What would it mean to you to bring a championship to Edmonton this spring?
Oh, it'd be amazing. You know, we think about it a lot. We've been kind of talking on the bus, just kind of things we'll do. Maybe guys get tattoos or whatever it might be, but just I feel like we have such a tight knit group this year, and we all just, yeah, there's such camaraderie that we want it so bad. And then if we can get that first one for this program, because we feel like we've come a long way as a program as well, but I think the cherry on top would be getting that first ring.
Absolutely. Let's get into your baseball past here a little bit, Jace. You're originally from Martinsville, Saskatchewan. How'd you get into the game in the first place?
I got in a little late, actually. I think when I was about 11 or 12, just me and my friend from back home, we'd just go to the field and kind of train by ourselves, and then started watching the Blue Jays lots, kind of thing, playing MLB The Show together, and then we kind of got into competitive baseball and kept grinding, and then just fell in love with it from there.
Were you playing other sports prior to that, or did you continue playing other sports after starting up baseball?
Yeah, for sure. I was always into hockey. That was kind of the big thing in Martinsville, definitely from about age 6. And then, yeah, throughout high school and stuff, I'd play basketball, badminton, volleyball, just kind of do it all, try and keep myself well-rounded. Mm-hmm. And then, yeah, stuck with baseball kind of going into college.
Do you remember the moment where it flipped for you, where you went, hey, you know what, I like this game, it's a lot of fun, but maybe I can chase it at a bigger level?
Yeah, I would say it was senior year, a little later, I guess. Kind of got the offer from the Hawks, and then from there, I just figured, you know, this is kind of what I'm best at. And I still love training because through grade 11 and 12, that's when I really started to improve and work, go 5 days a week practicing and stuff. And I hadn't fallen out of love with it at that point. So I figured just keep going and then see how long I can play this game for.
For sure. When you look back on the young career to this point, do you have any favorite memories or moments on the field that really stand out that made you kind of take that step back and go, I can't believe I get to do this kind of thing?
Definitely. I would say there's a couple. My first CCBC hit was definitely a big one in UFB last year. That was cool. Hit a double there, and then a couple innings for the Riverhawks I got to play, and that was just it was insane. Really, just wasn't many innings, but got to play in front of like 8,000 people, and it was a lot to take in, but it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it a lot. So
I can only imagine. On the flip side, we all know baseball is a game of failure. So what's that one big challenge or hurdle that you've had to overcome where you're super proud of yourself for being able to do so?
for sure, I would say my first year in Edmonton here, I was on the junior varsity team, and that's you don't want to come to a program and then kind of be on the second team, but I figured my mindset changed to just kind of make the best of it where I am, wherever my situation is. So I think that first year really helped me with development, kind of just gave me a year to work on myself. And obviously we have a really good development program here. So that was super helpful. And then it just kind of taught me really how to train at the collegiate level and become that, really embrace that next level as well. And then I think that prepared me super well for my second year here in Edmonton. So
Sure sounds like it. A few fun ones before we let you go. First off, what's your walk-up tune?
I think this spring it'll be Fade to Black by Metallica.
Oh,
I like to keep the rock kind of feel, and usually a Metallica guy. So
I got to give you all the credit in the world, man, because I feel like there's a lot of non-rock guys out there, and I'm like, man, no, bring it back a little bit. So I tip my cap to you. When you're at the ballpark, what's your favorite food when you're there as a fan?
as a fan, I would say I like a good hot dog for sure. Chicken strips if they've got them, but yeah, I can't go wrong with a dog at the park, I guess.
Is a hot dog a sandwich?
Mm. I would say yeah, it is.
It's a very, very contentious issue, and so we got to get to the bottom of it, and that's why we bring on the experts who have seen a hot dog or two. And finally, any superstitions or things that you got to do either before, during, or after a game?
I would say I think I've got my eating routine down. That's kind of the big thing for me. It's kind of a boring one, but yeah, definitely get my eating down. I would say I guess on deck, got some weird ones, just kind of like how I go about getting my body feeling right when I'm on deck and kind of training my eyes. So I guess that would just be like, I don't know, I find like I'll just do some crazy twists or whatever. It looks kind of funky, but I don't know, just kind of gets my mind right and ready for my at-bat.
Very cool. On the meal front, do you have a specific meal you have to have pregame or anything crazy like that?
It's a lot of peanut butter toast, I guess, pretty bland, and pasta. I'll have 4 hours before the game, and then I'll have some toast about 2 hours before the game, maybe a Cliff Bar, and then usually an energy drink going into it.
We heard one really recently, actually, about how they had to go get a Gatorade from a gas station nearby. It didn't matter what gas station it had to be, or maybe it was a Powerade. I can't remember exactly, but they were very specific. And so it's always funny to hear some of those stories for sure. Two more we got for you, Jace. The ones we ask everybody across the board here. First off, for those young kids starting out on their baseball journeys and they're wanting to get to where you're at now, what's that one piece of advice or those words of wisdom you'd love to impart upon them?
I'd say always strive to be a good teammate or the best teammate you could be, just to kind of get to know your team, get to know your guys on a personal level, make those connections, because you never know how that's going to help you. And then if you can kind of set the standard of just, making a good community amongst your team, then everyone's a lot more comfortable with each other, and there'll be a lot more just prepare you to go into battle with your brothers a lot better. And yeah, and then you'll just end up learning a lot more from them, and it'll just be a lot more beneficial if you can get close with your teammates. And you do that kind of by setting the standard, holding yourself to a high standard and holding everyone accountable. So I think, just being a good teammate.
Beautifully said, especially in a world where I think a lot of kids would benefit from organized sports regardless, and being a good teammate is always a good thing. So great stuff there. Final one, we ask everybody, what does a game of baseball mean to you, Jace?
A lot. I mean, I think it's just, when I think of that question, I just think of what it's kind of taught me. I think obviously as collegiate players, we put in a lot of hours, and it's just taught me a lot about discipline, kind of punctuality even, just building routines as well in daily life, and kind of how to control my ego. So in a lot of different ways, it's kind of helped me become, a stronger person. And kind of the skills I've learned from baseball will help me out throughout life, however long I'll be playing this sport, we don't know. But yeah, it's taught me so much. And then I've made obviously a lot of really meaningful connections as well, which, I don't undervalue. So.
Well, it's been great to be able to make a connection with you here on the show, Jace. Congratulations again on all the success you've had to this point, continued success during the 2026 season and beyond. And again, thanks so much for joining us here on the show.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks for having me.
And we'll wrap things up with a familiar voice on the show, and in particular, the Extravaganza. Ethan Webster of the University of Calgary Dinos is the reigning CCBC Pitcher of the Year after going 3-2 with a 2.35 ERA in 8 games last season, striking out 46 in 42 innings of work for a team that finished in the league's basement. It was also a young squad, so they're coming back a year older and a year wiser, with the senior Webster planning to be a leader and guide them back to that form that won them a championship in 2022. Ethan Webster, third time for the CCBC season preview extravaganza, and unfortunately, by the sounds of it, might be your last time too. But going into a 5th season with the University of Calgary Dinos, do you have expectations or goals of yourself going into this season?
Yeah, I think the thing for me every year is really improve upon the version of myself from the year previous. And obviously it's hard to do from last year, but it's physical goals, it's pitch selection, it's delivery, it's physicality, it's all of these things that I want to improve on, being a better teammate. And as long as I do that and improve on those areas, I'm happy.
Looking back on last year, what was working for you? What was really kind of jiving that made it so special?
I think it was everything coming together at the same time. It was our bats were fantastic last year. It was the best hitting team I think we've had, and that just gave me so much confidence on the mound to, execute pitches in tough spots and really attack hitters. The thing with me, right, is I have such a low walk rate, and that's the thing, is being able to go after hitters. And if I give up a hit, it's not the end of the world, but it's just, trying to get back in the dugout as quick as possible and get our team back on the bats.
Mm-hmm. When you talk about the off season, you and I are on the way over here talking about adjustments. I won't, give away anything, but at the same time, is it weird going into an off season going, hey, I want to make adjustments because you did so well this last year, or did it feel like, hey, I don't want to ever get complacent?
No, I don't think it's weird at all. I think it is that thing of never get too comfortable, and because if you get too comfortable, the game catches up to you. This league's getting better every year, and so I know I need to get better. Every team has seen me so many times. So many players have seen me so many times in the CC and the WCBL, and so I need to keep getting better and keep improving to stay ahead of the competition.
Mm-hmm. Walking into the season, you're just fresh from Arizona. What's the vibe in the clubhouse?
A lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. Our team's been playing loose. They've been playing happy. They've been playing, they love the game of baseball, and that's what's important. Nobody's too amped up, too nervous, and I think when we play like this, we're at our best. So we're very confident, but we're not, what's the word I'm looking for here? We're not being unrealistic, right? We know what we have to do to win games. We know it's going to be hard, but we know what we have to do to get there.
I said to Logan Wedgewood earlier on in the program that it feels as though you guys are being underloved a little bit in the coaches poll, sitting 7th right now. Do you, as a team, feel like you are at that spot, or do you feel like you need to maybe earn a little bit of a higher ranking?
Yeah, well, we finished 8th last year, so, I mean, we're moved up one spot. But I think absolutely we do need to prove it because, like, nothing comes for free, right? I know how good this team can be. But again, we didn't prove it last year. We need to prove it this year, and I think we have the tools to do it. I think we've made the improvements to do it. So I love it. I love being underestimated. We'll go out and, I'm excited for the guys to show what they got.
How much of it, in your eyes, is going to be about the maturation of some of the younger players from last year? Because I know you had a few new faces that had to make an impact and weren't maybe able to do what they were expected to, but now they've got that year of experience behind them.
I think that's a huge thing, right? Because this league moves so quickly. The season is so fast. So if you have a bad outing or a bad couple streaks of games, you get so in your head, right? And you think, okay, I don't have a lot of time to fix this. But now we've had a full season, a full off season, a full year removed. We know what we need to do to make those adjustments, like in real time, like game to game, at bat to at bat. And I think that's going to be a huge piece of the puzzle this year.
How important is that going to be given the changes? Now, you and I kind of talked about it a little bit earlier too, is 9 teams now, longer regular season, and you're not guaranteed a shot in the championship weekend.
Yeah, it's more motivation to go out and give it 100% every single game. Like, you never know what game is going to be your last this year, so you have to go out and you have to let your guys play like your guys. And we're going to go out every game and think we need to win this game or that's it. So every game we're giving it 110%, and that's it. Like, you just have to compete until we can't compete anymore. That's it.
Talk a little bit about being the veteran, the 5th-year guy, and sort of the expectations or the culture that you want to impart upon these younger guys. Is, as you think about that, the last time you get to stand on the mound for UC, potentially at the World Series in May.
Oh man, it's so tough to think about. This program means so much to me, and this journey has meant so much to me. So I think for me, it's just passing on that, this journey is short and it goes by so fast. So, don't worry about the little things and have fun while you're doing it, and enjoy the moments with your team and enjoy the moments of success. Learn from the failures. And I don't know. There's just so much to take away, but I think the main thing for me is just, sharing all the parts of my journey with these guys and letting them learn from their mistakes and letting them succeed.
What do you think is key to success for you guys? Like, how do you make sure that you guys get into that dance at the end of May?
Yeah, it's really, like I said, it's giving it all our effort every game and, not letting up on teams when we might be up a little. It's, you have to play every inning like you're trying to stomp the other team. And, nobody likes to do that, but you can't get complacent at all during these games because it can flip so fast. There's so many good hitters in this league. There's so many good pitchers in this league. And, 5 spot and all of a sudden, we didn't steal that bag earlier, and this game's a whole lot different. So you have to be on the gas at all times.
Mm-hmm. When you look ahead to May, what would it mean to you to take home a CCBC championship?
Man, it would mean everything to me because, that first one is so far in the rear view now, and it would really justify this entire journey and all of this work that we've put in. And, mind you, I'm content with what I've done and what we've accomplished as a team, but, man, I want another one so bad. And it would mean the world to me to end my career with another championship.
Is it hard to believe that was 4 years ago?
Yeah, it really is. Like, I feel like I'm getting old here. It's like they're never letting me back for another one. But no, it's so surreal because, the guys that I came into this program with and, we won that championship with, this is it for us. And it's so surreal to look back on. We were so young back then. Now it's like, we're getting old. We're finishing up here. But, yeah, it's so much fun to look back on those memories still with that group of guys and, seeing all the cool stuff that the guys that have graduated and moved on have done too. And, that'll be us soon. And, yeah, I don't know. I'm really excited.
Talk a little bit more about that excitement piece, because here we are. We've been dreading the doldrums of winter in Calgary. I know you're fresh off Arizona, so you did get a chance to play a little bit of ball, but at the same time, it's real. This weekend, we're playing baseball for real.
Yeah, it's a lot different from us this year because, we're used to 3 weekends in a row preseason of going down to Kamloops, Kelowna, Wenatchee, Washington, and we're coming off of 1 week in Arizona and a whole lot of indoor lives because it's been cold out here. So we have to be ready to go right away. And if you're not ready to go, the next guy up will be. So yeah, there's nerves for sure, but I'm so excited to play ball. And I've been waiting all year for this. And yeah, I'm so ready to go.
I'd be remiss if I didn't talk a little bit about the summer as well while we're here, because it's going to come fast. Because as soon as that final weekend in the CC's done, you're basically staying in town, a.k.a. Lethbridge. A bit of a change of pace for you. I know it was a tough decision to make. But walk us through the idea of being close to home, especially graduation season and that kind of stuff. Walk us through your mindset going into a summer of ball, too.
Yeah, there was a lot of things that went into this decision for me. It was such a hard choice because I absolutely love Weyburn. I love the people there. I love the coaches, the staff, the players. They were so good to me over there, and so it sucks. It really sucks to not go back and enjoy the KFC. But just for me this summer, I want to get uncomfortable and be in a new environment where I'm not complacent and where I have to prove myself every single game and work on things with new coaches and see if I can extend my career. And being close to Calgary, friends and family can come watch. I can whip back up here for graduation, get that piece of paper, and head right back. So there's a lot of things. Movie theater I'm so excited for. There's a lot of good restaurants out there. The people are great. I'm going to get to play with a bunch of guys that I played against, which is going to be interesting. But, a lot of good guys out there, a lot of really talented ball players. So I'm excited.
Movie mill, $2 movies back in the day.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's still that case or not, but it's probably I know it's a cheap night at the movie theaters. So, final question for you: when you look ahead to September, October, November, how are you going to gauge success in your eyes on a personal level, maybe on a team level?
Man, that is a really good question. I think for me it'll be, am I happy with what I accomplished, and do I think I could have done more? And if I think I couldn't have done more, I put in all the work I could, and it went well, or it didn't go that way, then that's okay. I can be happy with it, right? Because you're never going to be perfect every game. But if you put the work in to be the best version of yourself that you can be, that's all you can ask for. And as long as I go and I have fun every game and I enjoy these last couple months with this group of guys, and I'll be happy.
Well, Ethan, it's been an absolute pleasure getting to chat with you time and time again here on the CCBC Season Preview Extravaganza for a third time now. Congrats on all the success to this point, continued success in the 2026 season, and thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. It's always a pleasure to be on, and bittersweet. This is the last one of these that we get to do, but you never know. We'll see what we get up to later on. Thank you.
Thanks again to Logan Wedgewood, Tetsu Nishida, Jace Daku, and Ethan Webster for joining us on the CCBC Season Preview Extravaganza. We will have more coverage of the league throughout this season, so make sure to hit subscribe on your favorite app so you don't miss a moment of the action. As always, a tip of the cap to our Platinum supporters, the Okotoks Dogs, Under the Lights Sports and Entertainment, and the Western Canadian Baseball League for their generosity in helping us tell the game stories in our province. For more on our tremendous teammates and to join our roster, head to albertadugoutstories.com/supporters. Until next time, thank you for all of your support, online, on social, and on air, of Alberta Dugout Stories.